And after you leave a like, remember to smash the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to my channel as yet. And remember to hit the notification bell so every time I post a video you can know right away. Subscribe, 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 subscribe. What's up, my YouTube friends, viewers, subscribers, everybody? Welcome back to another banger video. You know how I sound? It's time to be motivated. Let's get it. Learn to control your mind. Let me say it one more time so it sinks in. Learn to control your mind. And the first thing is how you learn to control your mind is you have to have a brain, because a lot of people have no brain. So you have to think about something and make it happen. And when I say make it happen, I don't mean wait for it to happen. So you have to learn to control your mind in order to will things into existence. Not sit down and wait for it to happen, because it will never happen. It will not happen. A lot of people have no idea how to control their mind. They just live their life hoping stuff will happen. Nothing will never happen if you hope. Hope is next to failing, because you didn't try. So you can't say, oh, I want a job. I hope I get a job. Did you send out a resume? How are you going to get a job? You got to learn to control your mind. Stop hoping something will happen. Use your mind to think of stuff and make stuff happen for yourself. Because I've seen it over and over and over and over and over again. If someone is trying to do something and you ask them a question about it, oh, I hope it happened. The moment I hear hope, that sounds like failing. Because hoping is you not doing anything about it, but you're waiting for it to happen, which it will never happen because you didn't will it into existence. So, when I say learn to control your mind, let me go back to the top of how I started. Learn to control your mind, your brain. You have to have a brain and know how to use your brain power. Why you have a brain if all you're doing is hoping something will happen? That's why you have a brain. Use it. You got brain cells flowing through your brain 24/7. Why are you not using it? You know how powerful your brain is? If you learn how to use your brain and like you're trying to do something, your brain will literally, it's on automatic. It will literally find different ways to get what you want done. Doesn't really matter what it is. If you will look deep within yourself and you say to yourself, this is what I want. I have no idea of how far it may take me or the next move to make, but making that first step, your brain will figure out how to get a second step. There's one phrase I always tell people. You can't learn to drive in a parked car. If you didn't put the car in drive, you'll never learn how to drive. And you can't learn to ride a bicycle if you never took the training wheels off. If those two phrases make sense. So you have to learn to control your mind. Think about stuff, visualize stuff, and then you find every way to make it happen. Your brain will literally do it on its own. You will literally wake up tired every day because your brain is busy trying to figure out the next move just for you. The same way how you go to your bed with people's problem or relationship problem on your mind that you woke up tired. How about you use that time to focus on your next move? Because when you go to your bed, whatever you have on your mind, if your mind is not like at ease, you will wake up tired. Because your brain, there's something unsettled. So your brain will try to settle it. How many times have you gone to bed confused and you're overthinking and you wake up tired with an answer? That's your brain working overnight while you were sleeping. That's why you wake up tired. And I've said it before, but let me say it again since we're talking about the mind. If you wake up tired, your brain was never rested. If you have a good night's sleep, if you wake up and you feel like you have a good night's sleep, that's because you went to bed with nothing on your mind. But if you wake up tired, something was never rested when you went to bed. Maybe some issues that you can't seem to figure out that you keep thinking about. Instead of thinking about those type of issues, how about you think about the next move? You're wasting your brain cells trying to figure out stuff that's irrelevant, and then you're sitting down in the same spot, hoping something will happen. So let me ask you a question. How are you interested in overthinking about stuff that's doing nothing for you But stuff that are actually beneficial to you, that you can actually start a career and better your life, how come you're putting that to the side and hope it happen, but you're going to bed with a bunch of nonsense on your mind? You have to learn to control your mind, learn to control your thinking, and make stuff happen. Because trust me, if you think about stuff, you'll find some way to, your brain will find some way to make it happen. And let me say it again if you guys didn't catch it the first time. Hoping is next to failing, because if you hope something will happen, then you're doing absolutely nothing about it. Maybe you're waiting on somebody to do it for you, or you're waiting on somebody to do it, or you're waiting on somebody to like motivate you, or you're waiting on somebody to do it so you can jump on their bandwagon. That's the definition of hoping, doing nothing about the situation. So I don't want you to tell me, oh, I'm hoping I get this, I'm hoping. You'll never get it. You will not get it. If you want something, you need to will it into existence. Learn to control your mind and make your brain think in a positive way, not in a negative way. Think about what you can get. Not, oh, this may happen and that may happen, because you will literally fail yourself by thinking of different random stuff that will possibly never happen. Learn to control your mind. The brain is a very powerful thing. Let me tell you something. The car can't run if there's no engine. The engine would be the brain for us, if that makes sense. So you have to learn, if there's something wrong with the engine or whatever, it will sound different. It will start giving you problems, because that's the brain of the car, if that makes sense. The same goes for you. How you expect to get from one destination to the other one if you ain't got no brain? How you expect to do something for yourself if you ain't got no brain? Think about stuff and do it. Stop sitting down hoping something will happen, because it will never happen. And I'm going to keep repeating that over and over and over and over and over again. It will not happen. Because I'm sick and tired of hearing, oh, I hope this, oh, I hope that, oh, this probably. It will never happen. Nonsense, garbage. You're failing yourself. You are the reason why you are where you are. And you're so busy, because of that one, because of, no, nonsense, garbage. I'm telling you this right now, garbage, nonsense. Learn to control your mind, control your thinking. It's your brain. The only thing you can control in this world is your brain, because you can't even control another person. You can't control what another person may do. You can't. You can probably anticipate their moves, but you don't control what they're doing. You don't control what they're saying. You don't control nothing around you. The only thing you control is your own brain. If you live somewhere and you got bills to pay, if you don't pay those bills will never be paid. The same goes for you. You have to think about it and you have to do it in order to make it happen. If the bills are paid, you have to go on your bank app and you have to go down and you have to pay it. You have to do it. So how you have that time to pay bills and pay for stuff and do all this kind of nonsense, but you're sitting down hoping your future that you desire so bad will automatically happen, and you're doing absolutely nothing about it? It will never happen. Not even a million years. Hoping something will happen, it will never happen. That's next to failing. So if you're the type of person that's sitting down hoping something will happen, I'm going to tell you this right now. Stop it. Look deep within yourself and look how long you have been hoping for the situation to change, but it never changed. I don't care what situation it is. Maybe it's a career you wanted to start it. Maybe it's a job you wanted to start it. Maybe it's something that you wanted to do. Maybe it's a relationship. I don't care what it is. Look deep within yourself and look back at all the stuff that you hope will happen or you hope can happen. And then you tell me if it did without you doing anything about it. No, because it will never happen. This video, I make it right now to post it on YouTube. It's not going to edit it itself. You think I'm going to sit down and say, oh, I hope this video be edited without doing it? Then how is it going to be edited? How am I going to post it so you guys can see it? How? It will never happen. Even if somebody decides to, oh, let me go edit Ty's video. How are they going to go in my phone to edit it when there's a lock on there? How? It will never happen. It will not happen. Learn to control your mind. The brain is a very powerful thing. You guys have no idea of the things you can achieve and accomplish when you have a wide imagination and possess the ability to make it happen. Because not a lot of people have that much brain power to make stuff happen. So if you're a person that have like a wide imagination that you can literally sit down and think about a lot of stuff that you're zoned out for at least 2-3 minutes, and the stuff, the billion of stuff that's running through your brain, if you're that person, that you need to stop sitting down and hoping. It's time to start making stuff happen. Because me, growing up, I used to be that kid. I used to have a wide imagination. The things I will like, if somebody showed me one, like something, I can say, oh, it looked like this or it looked like that. Or even a cloud. You see a cloud, and then to everybody else, it's like a normal cloud, but I don't see a normal cloud. I can say, oh, that looked like a rabbit, or that looked like a cat, or that looked like a dog. And then they're going to say, how do you think that looked like a dog? Or sit down and like think about stuff. I used to be that kid. But now, the older I get, all those stuff that I thought about, I'm starting to make it happen. I'm starting to make stuff happen. Let me use this as a prime example. When I was younger, like probably 14 or 15, I used to admire hoverboard, but back then I used to call it skywalk. I may put a picture here, right here, so you guys can see. I used to like literally sit down and say, oh, I want a hoverboard, a gold one. I used to say, oh, I want a gold hoverboard. I have no idea how to drive it, no idea of where I can go to buy it, no idea. But I used to see like rappers on stage with it, and like famous people moving around with it, and I was like, that looks so cool, but I didn't know where to get it. And then I grew up, then I moved to Canada, and then boom, I got it. So everything that I like thought about, I'm slowly giving myself everything that I always wanted. Not saying people can't help me get it, but I want to give it to myself, because when I do it for myself, then it's like earned. So if somebody like give me something, I don't feel like I earned it. I want to do it for myself, because let me tell you something. When you earn something, you grow throughout the process. That's why you need to use your brain to think about stuff and make it happen for yourself. That way you're growing through the process of what you're doing and what's going on around you. So if you're sitting down hoping something will happen, it will never happen. Because you know why? You're not growing. You won't grow if you're not doing anything. If you're not making the moves to get where you're trying to go, you will never grow. You will never figure it out. And not because you don't figure it out now, meaning you won't figure it out later. All you got to do is keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. Because if you keep going, you'll eventually find out the mistakes that you made. That's the definition of a mistake. Of something you did wrong and you figure it out. If you didn't figure it out, then it's not a mistake, because you kept on doing it. A mistake is something that you did wrong and you learn from it. That's why it's called a mistake. Something you did wrong. You notice it wasn't a mistake when you were doing it? It was when you figure it out that it was wrong, it became a mistake. Prime example. How much relationship that you've been in that you say, oh, that was a mistake? It wasn't a mistake when you were going on dates. It wasn't a mistake when you're traveling. It wasn't a mistake when you guys are hanging out. It was only a mistake when you found out that something went wrong. So the same goes for you. Not because you don't know what it is. You may sit down and brainstorm and you're like, oh, this is what I want to do. But you don't know the moves to get it. Just start. If you don't start, it will never happen and you won't figure it out. You got to start. You got to make the moves. That's like sitting in a car and look around and say, oh, I will learn how to drive. You will never learn how to drive if you never put the car in park. Sorry, in drive. If you go in the car and you go like this, like as a kid, you go like this, right? You probably don't know which one is the gas or which one is the brake. But you'll figure it out once you put the car in drive and then it starts to trickle. And then you're like, oh, crap, oh, crap. You may press the gas first and then go boom, and then you press the other one because you didn't know which one's the gas or which one's the brake. Right there, you just learned something. Because you're going to press the gas. Or even if the car is going and you press the brake, then you go like this. And then you're like, oh, that one's a brake. So if this one is a brake, then the other one's the gas. And the same goes in the opposite way. You press on the gas and you go, woo, then you lean back like this, and you touch the brake because you're frightened. Then you go like this. Same thing. Then you just learn something. If you didn't put the car in drive, you will never would have learned that. And the same goes for you. Learn to control your mind. Make your brain work for you. Make it happen. Think about it. And let your brain find ways to get it done. And let me say one more time. Hoping is next to failing, because if you're hoping something will happen, then it will never happen. Because no one is going to do it for you. Let me say something. You ever notice when when others see that you know what you're doing, you ever notice that all of a sudden they want to be a part of what you're doing? All of a sudden they start handing out helps. But when you were confused, no one was there. You ever had that happen to you before? You ever sat down for once and you're confused of what you're doing, you want to make the step forward, but you didn't make the step forward and no one is helping you? And then all of a sudden you start to progress and you start to grow and you start to get some money. Then you see everyone start issuing out help. And those may be the same people that when you were confused, you asked them to help you, and then they turned their back on you. They never showed up. But when you figure it out, that's when they start offer to help you willingly. You never had that happen to you before? That's how life is. No one is going to help you until they see that you know what you're doing and it looks fun. Or they want the same thing, or they just want to be a part of it. So if you don't make that first move because you're hoping something will happen, then you won't get the help. If somebody even decides to help you, that won't happen. Learn to control your mind and let your mind work for you. The only thing you can truly control is your own mind. If you got a kid, you can't ever control what your kid's doing. You may have to tell them not to do it, but you can control them. If you're in a relationship, you can't control your partner. If you're working somewhere, you don't control your manager. You don't control your supervisor. You don't control nothing. You don't even control what's going on. If you can drive and you sit down in the car, the only reason why you control the car is because you got the steering in your hand. If you're driving and you let that steering loose, that car will slowly go sideways. It's in your control. The same way like that car is in your control. If you're going 150 on the highway and you let it go, they're probably gonna scrape you up out of the ditch. But that's not my point. Meaning everything is in your hands. Everything is in your control. Your brain is in your control. What you think about is what you can make happen. Because another person can't read your mind. They don't know what's on your mind. If they're smart like me, then they could probably read body language to sort of figure out what's going on with you. But they will never know what's on your mind, because what's on your mind will show with your body movements. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but now you know something. Because I can read people very well without even saying nothing to them. I'm very observant. But learn to control your mind and make stuff happen for yourself. That's why you are nowhere. And the fact that you know you are nowhere, and it bothers me because people know that they're absolutely nowhere. And the other part that irritates me is when they keep pointing fingers at everybody else but themselves. Oh, I'm here in this spot because that one did this 4 years ago. So you're broke, or you're homeless, or nothing's going on with you just because somebody hurt your feelings 2 years ago or 6 months ago. So you turn your whole life sideways just because somebody says something. So if somebody hurt, so that's the type of feelings you got, that if somebody hurt your feelings down, you're hurt, but in the next hour you don't feel better, that you literally take everything to everything personal, where it's devastated, where you turn your whole life sideways, and then you kept turning your whole life sideways, and you didn't want to bring it back the other way because somebody said something to you that hurt your feelings. Bro, I've never did that, not once my entire life. Nobody has never been the reason why I I'm doing something or I can't figure something out. I never once point a finger at somebody and say, because of them I am here. Never. I'm not that type of person. Because let me tell you something. The moment you can acknowledge your own wrongdoing is also the moment you can figure out how to do it right. If you can't look yourself in the eyes and say, damn, I was wrong. Makes no sense. It makes no sense. If you can't acknowledge your own wrongdoing, it's pointless. Because you're going to keep on doing what you're doing. And that's probably why you're nowhere. Because you know you did what you did was wrong. And then the fact that you're still doing it, that's why you're getting nowhere. And then if you kept on doing it wrong and then you stop, how would you ever figure it out how to do it right? And the fact that you did it wrong, then you're getting nowhere. You keep pointing fingers at everybody else, and then you're still nowhere. And then you're blaming everybody else that's growing and leaving you behind. No, learn to control your mind and make your mind work for you. Trust me, even if you're doing it wrong, you can't know if you're doing it wrong until you figure out how to do it right. That's just how it is. You can't know if it's wrong until you figure it out how to do it right. So doesn't matter what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep pushing forward. Because eventually, one day is going to come where you can look back at yourself and say, damn, I'm happy I never gave up. Or I'm happy I kept on pushing forward because now I know how to do it. And myself is a prime example of that. And let me share a story with you. When I first started doing YouTube, I used to use like a bunch of copyright music and all that kind of stuff. And it would like to use music in the videos, it's sort of cool in my opinion. Because like you can sort of, if you're moving around, you can sort of mute the original sound. And then you can use like other music. And then it sort of looks cool when you're moving around. But I didn't go in my like video analysis to see that it was copyright and that it will affect my watch hour. That's what I never knew. But when I keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it, and then one day I was like, let me go check this. Yeah, when I checked it, boom, copyright. I was like, now I gotta remove everything. All those time I spent making videos, I gotta remove everything. If you understand what I'm saying. So you have to do it wrong in order to figure it out how to do it right. And you have to keep on pushing forward just so you can grow and figure out your wrongdoing. Because I could have figured out that I kept using music and then that was wrong because I'm getting copyright and I won't, like, it's not going to do nothing for my channel. And then at that point, I could have made the decision to keep doing it. But I decided that I want to get paid from YouTube. So I decided to remove them all and start all over again. Because I'm not going to invest all my time and effort into something that I can't benefit from. If that's you, if you just want to upload and you don't want nothing out of it, then that's fine. That's you. But that's not me. I don't invest my time into something that's not like doing nothing for nobody. It's not doing nothing for you and it's not doing nothing for me. So there's no sense of us like sitting down talking about stuff. Because like words mean stuff. So if you're going to sit down and talk to somebody about something and you're not trying to make it happen, then that makes no sense. And that person won't be me for you to talk to. Because you can literally say anything to me and then I can sort of figure out a way how to make stuff happen. That's why I don't really go around and talk to a bunch of people. Because a lot of people always sit down and they have a bunch of stuff to say, but they don't make it happen. If you got that much stuff that you can literally sit down and use your brain to think about, why aren't you making them happen? Why? I understand that it's fun to sit down and talk about stuff or fantasize about stuff. That's cool. And like I said, I used to be that guy, that kid. But when you grow up, now's the time to make all those stuff happen. Now it's time to make your dream a reality. All those stuff that you always wanted when you was a kid, you're an adult now. Why aren't you making it happen? You always wanted a car when you were younger. Now you're an adult. It's time for you to start driving a car. When you were younger, you said, "Oh, I want my own house when I grow up." You're grown now. Why aren't you in your own house? I'm not talking about paying rent or living with a roommate or living with a family member. I'm talking about your own house, where you're comfortable inside your own house, where you're there, and if somebody aggravates you, you can tell them, oh, get out of my house, and close my door behind you, and don't lick my car on my driveway. You're an adult now, so why aren't you making stuff happen? All those stuff that you thought about when you were a kid. Now's the time for you to make it happen. Because I'm currently in that situation now, where everything that I've always wanted, I'm slowly getting everything I always sit down and talk about. Like I say, the hoverboard is a prime example. I used to call it a skywalker. That's what I used to call it. Until I saw it on the internet one time when I was younger, and then I saw the name hoverboard. And I didn't know how to drive it, but I bought it. And when I bought it, I learned how to drive it. So if you don't make the step forward, if you don't think about it, you won't know how to make that step forward. And if you don't make that step forward, you won't grow. So you won't know the other stuffs to do. You won't be able to figure it out because you never do it. You never thought about it. You probably thought about it, but you didn't make the move. You have to learn to control your mind. Stop using your brain to think about other people's problems. Their problem have absolutely nothing to do with you. Nothing whatsoever to do with you. Stop going to your bed with people problem on your mind that you're waking up tired because of somebody else. Wake up tired for yourself. Let your brain work overnight for you. You waking up tired just because somebody else said something or somebody's happening to something. What else is wrong with you? Bruh. Learn to control your mind, and your mind will eventually find a way and work for you. Your mind is working for everybody else. You're so busy sitting down trying to figure out everybody else's problem, but you are worse than them. You are worse than them, and you're trying to give everybody all these bright ideas and all these advice, but you're nowhere. And people like me are not going to sit down and listen to you if you're nowhere and you never did it. Because if you never do it, then you don't know how it's like to get it and grow through the process. So you can't tell me, oh, Ty, this is how you get a house when you yourself never bought one. You can't come to me and tell me, oh, Ty, this is how you buy a car when you yourself never buy one. You can't come to me and say, oh, Ty, you have to do this in your videos, but you don't have a channel, or talk about this and you don't have a channel. You can't come and say, oh, you have to post every day. Well, I am posting every day, but this is just an example. Oh, you have to post every day if you want to blow up. Are you posting every day? How are you going to tell me to do something that you're not doing? See? You can't tell somebody to do, like, you can tell them to do something that you're not doing, but they have to be smart enough to know that what you're saying is complete garbage, because you never did it. So how you know how it's like? You never grow throughout the process. You have to use your mind to work for you. Learn to control your mind. And let me say this again before I close this video. If you're sitting down hoping for something will happen, it will never happen. Hoping is next to failing. Because if you're hoping something will happen, it will never happen. Because you're waiting on it to happen, but you didn't will it into existence. So it will not happen. You can't hope things will be okay when you yourself never got up and tried to make it okay. You can't hope you get some money if you never go out and get a job. You can't hope you get a car when you never get some money and save your money to buy a car. You can't hope you buy a house if you never work and save up your minimum what it's called, that money that you have to get it, the deposit or whatnot, or down payment, sorry. If you don't have the down payment, you can't get it. You can't hope you will get something if you're doing nothing about the situation. That's not how this world works. So I hope you learned something from me today. Learn to control your mind and it will work for you. If you learned something, Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned. Your boy will be back doing more stuff. I'm out. And don't forget to follow me on social media. I post daily on them.